The autumn has just started, and in a couple of months, we'll be looking down the barrel of another Winnipeg winter. And it goes without saying, we will be spending more time indoors trying to stay warm. And since we'll be inside more, what we are looking at in our homes becomes all the more important. So having some interesting new art could be just a ticket to drive away the January blahs. Winnipeg artist Jordan Van Sewell has been a fixture on the Winnipeg art scene for decades and has had many works in some of the most prestigious art collections around the globe. Jordan works in ceramics, and his sculptures have been described as whimsical, revealing, and profound. His works frequently offer his own view of the world around him, often with hilarious and thoughtful commentary. Joining me here in the Classic 107 studio to talk about his art and his gallery at the Forks Market, I am joined once again by Classic 107's favorite artist, visionary, and overall cool dude, Jordan Van Sewell. Hey, Jordan, great to have you back here in our Classic 107 studio.
So nice to be back, Chris, and what an introduction. Boy, thank you.
Just for you. I thought I would start out the conversation by asking, summer's a time when most people put their feet up, chill out, go out to the lake. But rumor has it that you've been doing a lot of creating. I understand that you are launching a new show at your new gallery. Can you tell us about that?
Sure. I've spent the summer striking the new gallery in the Forks. So I'm still have a gallery open every day, most days. But in terms of the work that I'm presenting now, it's actually a bunch of different themes, but they all have a universal message, and that is that the times we live in are certainly interesting, to say the very least. Mm-hmm. So I've tried to capture my understanding of these times in my witful ceramic pursuit of, just trying to make sense out of things.
Yeah. When is the art show on till, and when does it start?
Well, the show is up now, but on the 23rd, I'm inviting the public to come down and scrutinize the work, because there's a lot of people that I think need the benefit of some visual art in their lives, and just to have a look at alternative things to consider is something that the gallery offers every time you go in there.
Mm-hmm. The title of the show is Time to Get Ready. Where does the name come from, and specifically, how does it apply to your art?
Well, I've featured on the invitation poster me in the bathtub, which I think is quite revealing, and what a place to start. So anything that goes after that is a building process. So I think that we're building up to something important, and it is time to get ready for that. Unfortunately, none of us know what's coming down the pipe. Yeah. But I think I've tried to convey the usual cautionary tale that I like to have as an underlying theme in my work. And I feel that the pieces that I'm exhibiting now successfully portray and convey those ideas.
Can you give us a little bit of a sense of what people can expect to see at the show, and maybe talk about a couple of your favorite pieces that you've created?
Well, God forbid if the Forks were to catch on fire and I could run out of there with just the one piece, I think it would have to be The Devil in the Bathtub. It's called St. Peter's Tub, and it's a quirky look at the underworld meeting the above world, and how that might play out. So it's a nice, colorful ceramic piece. I've also got some new vehicles, which have always been my first love. So I've been making a few trucks. I'm sure there's an area of the gallery that is starting to look like a used truck lot, but it hasn't deterred me from making more of them. So there's trucks. There's also a series that I am working on called the 12 Stations of the Railway Crossing, in which I'm, I certainly wouldn't begin to, compare my suffering to that of the Lord, but I think there's things that bind us all together. For me, it was 10 years on the railway, which I'm now dealing with in pleasing ceramic sculptures.
Amazing, amazing. Can you talk a little bit more about some of the ideas and things that inspired your art leading to
Yeah,
the show?
Chris, this has always been something that I've had in spades because I think one of my strong suits is my imagination and the fact that I'm able to make these things, realize them in ceramic is, it's my stock and trade now. But when I think of the pieces that I've made over the years and addressing the issues of our contemporary society, I mean that's what really gets me going is my amazement at the modern world and our place in it. So it's not without question though, and often the pieces that I do just pose yet another question with some. Maybe there's some solutions there. Maybe there's some ideas. Maybe there's some resolution. But for me, that's not my job. My job is just to make things that people are going to enjoy on different levels, and hopefully the takeaway will be something that, if it's not life changing, maybe at least it'll give them stop to ponder.
Mm-hmm. So aside from creating these new ceramic sculptures, the other big thing that happened with you this summer is that the Jordan Van Sewell Gallery, it moved. It's still at the Forks, but can you draw a picture in our minds? What does the new gallery look like?
Well, it was a great move. It wasn't far. It was just down the hall, and I'm now beside the bookstore there in a decommissioned barber shop. So looking at me, you may think, geez, there's a guy that has barber issues. How's that working out? Well, I still do hear ghost clippers and scissors in the background there, but it hasn't been too scary. Probably the scariest part was moving about 150 to 200 pieces of ceramic art down a public hallway and then finding places for it in a gallery that's about a third of the size of the one I had. So it's become quite cozy, and I think reflects the work well. It's a new place, but things take on a new vibe. So I'm pretty happy the way it's turned out.
So can you see it? Can you see it from the main floor?
Yeah,
from
if
the
you
common?
were downstairs there in the common enjoying I don't know, a flight of beer or maybe a taco or something, if you were to gaze up, you're going to see the sign for the gallery, and if you look even higher, I don't know how many people have noticed in that common area, but I have 3 permanently installed figures looking down upon the diners. So if that's heaven in the well, let's not go that far, but if you do look up, you're going to see the gallery.
And for those listeners who have not seen it at the Forks, yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah.
Go to the Commons and you stare up, and there's
Yeah.
there it is, a sculpture that Jordan Van Sewell has created. So when people are looking for you, you were talking about it earlier. You're literally right next to McNally Robinson Bookstore.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about the role that an artist plays in society today and the impact that you see art having on our lives?
Well, I think we can all agree that these times that we live in are both trying and interesting. But since we're new to this game, I'm sure if we look back historically, we've been through this before, but it's new to us. And there's ways of dealing with, I guess, the new world that has been thrown at us. And for me in my work, I'm trying to find solution to trying to find explanation, offer explanation without seeming to be without a clue, because there's so much out there to ponder and really try and digest and make sense of in the complexity of the world.
Mm-hmm. On a more granular level, what role do you see ceramics having in enriching our overall lives?
Well, as ceramic, of course, being just a material that artists use, and the role that artist plays in society is to maybe give a message or offer something, And the granular aspect, getting right down to the nitty-gritty of it. When I look at the wonderful world of clay, it to me there's a profound spiritual connection to the material, because really these clay is rocks that have been ground down from time immemorial. So the idea of working with a material that is the oldest on this planet, and that it's the element of earth and water, and the process you go through isn't complete until you put it into the fire.
Mm-hmm.
So there's for me there is that spiritual connection of making something from a material. It's like transmorgification. It's like being an alchemist, and the idea of lead to gold or clay to cash is something that isn't lost on me. Mm-hmm. So when I'm working with the material, I really feel that it's like a connection with anything. It's unspoken, and yet it's all there. It's the only thing I need.
Right,
is a lump of clay.
Mm-hmm. For those of our listeners who are followers of your works, and I know you've got several fans, or for those listeners who might have been tweaked by our conversation, what can you tell us about how people should buy art, and who should they buy it for?
Well, that's always something that that's a very good question, because of course art is for everyone. I think art enriches people's lives. So for me to be a purveyor of fine arts, when people come into my gallery, I obviously I can't sum up who and what they are, but certainly a conversation is revealing enough to direct them towards pieces that they've been enjoying, pieces that maybe they're going to, start a young kid on his art collection by buying a smaller piece, or people coming in and adding to their collection. But I think the thing about art is that the more you're exposed to it, the more ideas are presented to you. So that if a number of artists can work to offer those kinds of things, which are qualities that maybe transcend day-to-day life. But I think that the enriching factor is something that is tantamount. I think that everybody should consider including art in their lives.
Sure.
As much as we can include other purchases, if we can look at it as completely a consumer good, then it's a nice place to put your money.
Mm-hmm. Especially, as I was saying earlier, with us Winnipeggers spending so much time inside between those months of November and May.
Well, and that is a good point, because everybody has their environment, their own personal environment, and when somebody purchases a piece of mine to include in that environment, and then enjoying it enough to mention it to me, to say, every morning when I get up, I look in the mirror, and then I look over at the piece hanging next to it, and I'm met with a sense of optimism for the day, or I want to crawl back into bed, or whatever they want to do. I think that being affected by art and having it enhance your day is something that is as important as music, almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll wrap up the conversation this way. What are the hours of the new gallery?
Well, I'm trying to work that out, because the hours are posted as 11 to 4, 6 days a week, closed Monday. So I'm open during those hours.
Mm-hmm. Jordan, as always, it has been so much fun to chat with you today. I always look forward to it when you stop by our Classic 107 studios. Thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me about your art and the gallery and the new show. It sounds like it's going to be just fantastic. Thanks again.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chris. This is always a treat to come in here and talk with you. And, I encourage everybody to get down whenever they can, because after the 23rd, it's going to be business as usual, and there's lots to see, lots to do.
Yeah, there sure is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.